no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and on today's episode, we're going to be looking at 5 teams the Las Vegas Raiders could potentially trade up with in the 2021 NFL Draft. Let's just say there's a few players that they're really excited and that start falling down the board. Don't be surprised if John Gruden and Mike Mayock get a little bit aggressive. So let's go through all the draft picks here for the Raiders, and we're really going to be sitting there and concentrating on, obviously, that pick number 17, but I'm just going to tell you this. I have a trade idea in this episode where we're going to go from picks like 2 to 3, and we're going to get up back into the first round. So stay tuned on that. Now, I'm also going to be breaking down some players that the Raiders could go ahead and trade up for, because when you trade up, the biggest reason why you do it is because there is a player that you have your eyes set on. So that's all coming up here on today's episode. So before we get into the teams and the trade ideas, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to the Raiders Report. The link is below. It's also a big red button underneath the video. We just crossed 77,000 subscribers. That's incredible to me, and I appreciate everyone that takes time out of their day to watch our videos. But just like anything, we got to continue to grow this bad boy. I want to get to like 1 million subscribers as soon as possible. I know it sounds crazy, but hey, the Raiders, they got 3 million likes on Facebook. That means we can get to 1 million subscribers. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that big red button that says subscribe. All right, so the first team that the Raiders could trade up with here, I got the Carolina Panthers. They pick round 1 at number 8. The reason why the Raiders would trade up here is because if Penei Sewell slides down, I'll tell you what, this is where I think it becomes Penei Sewell territory. The Panthers also, they're looking to trade down. Remember, there was a lot of reports about them drafting a quarterback. They traded for Sam Darnold, and literally today, as I'm filming the show on April 20th, a report came out from Adam Schefter that the Panthers, they want to go ahead and trade back. The other reason why you do this, because you go ahead and you try to jump ahead of the Denver Broncos so they can't get a player that maybe was on their board. So here's the trade idea that I cooked up. And remember, all these trades are from the trade calculator, which is basically weighs out what every single pick is worth. So every pick that you see or every trade is actually 100% fair. So the Raiders receive the 8th overall pick. The Panthers, they get 17, our second round pick 48, and then our first 5th round pick 162 overall. Also, what's the Raiders Report about? It's about education. So I'm going to tell you guys a few different ways to say yes and no on today's episode. So should the Raiders make this trade, I want you to type yes, or I want you to go ahead and type no. And again, every trade that you see is basically me just illustrating how much it would cost to go up. This trade doesn't favor the Raiders. It doesn't favor the Panthers. This is 100% equal on the trade value chart. The next trade coming up here is with the Dallas Cowboys. And I mean, if there's been a team that the Raiders have been able to get players from or swap picks from, it kind of has been with Dallas over the last 2 years. Let's just say Sewell, he's off the board. The Raiders, their concentration then switch maybe to a guy like Rashawn Slater. Also, this could be Micah Parsons trade up territory because the New York Giants, they really, really like Micah Parsons. So right here you got Dallas, pick number 10, right? You can start to be a little bit of aggressive. Now maybe Dallas doesn't want to trade with the team that they're going to end up facing this year. That I get. But Dallas is also a team looking to go back and acquire some more picks. So this is what it would basically cost the Raiders to go up and get to pick number 10. They get number 10 overall. The Cowboys, they received the 1st round pick and then both of the Raiders' 3rd round picks. So what do you think about this trade, y'all? Should the Raiders make this move? I want you to type ja or nein. So ja is yes in German. Nein is no in German. Now, it's not spelled like that. It's actually spelled N-E-I-N, but I thought it was a little bit easier to just literally type in 9. And for those of you that don't know, yes, I lived in Germany for a year, and I know Raider Nation's got a lot of fans out there in Germany. So, should the Raiders make this trade? Ja, or go ahead and type 9. Now, if you guys want a shout out on the Raiders Report, I want you to go and retweet my pinned tweet. It's at Mitchell Renz 365. It's talking about my live show. And if you're watching this live, we're going to give you some love here. So if you could, go retweet my pinned tweet. I'm trying to grow on Twitter. It would help me out a lot because the more people that find us out on Twitter, the more the show grows. So please go ahead, retweet my pinned tweet. All right, let's go to the next team here, the Philadelphia Eagles, who got the 12th pick in round 1. But Mitch, they were at pick 6 and they traded back. Why would they trade back again? They don't have a lot of money, and this is a football team that has a lot, and I mean a lot of holes. And so if you can go ahead and replace some of them, maybe that's why they go ahead and do it. Now, let's just say this. Somehow Rashawn Slater or Penei Sewell, they slide down. If you're the Raiders, You cannot let Penei Sewell or Slater go to the Los Angeles Chargers. It's as simple as that, especially Penei Sewell. Because if you're thinking about it, like, okay, the Chargers did a great job upgrading their offensive line. I can't have Justin Herbert sitting upright, and I think with one of those two guys, he's gonna be hurting people. So what do you think about this trade idea here? The Raiders, they get pick 12, and the Eagles' third-round pick, 84 overall. The Eagles, they get the Raiders 17 and 48 overall. So you swap your first, and you swap your second for a third-round pick. So I'm curious, what do you guys think about this move here? Should the Raiders go ahead and make this move? I want you to type Ken, or I want you to type low. And if you're wondering what this language is, it's Hebrew. So this is a Hebrew yes or no. So type Ken for yes, or I want you to type low for no. All right, the next team we're going to be getting into here is the Minnesota Vikings, round 1, pick number 14. This is where I think the Raiders could move up for a player like a Micah Parsons or a Jeremiah Wilson-Moore, because I'm a believer that if New England's not going to go quarterback, like they don't draft a QB or trade up for one, they're going to be looking at the linebacker position. And the reason why they like a guy like Parsons and Joke, because they're very versatile and they can use them in a lot of different ways. The other thing I wanted to bring up here is this. Minnesota, they don't have a second-round pick. So for the Raiders, you could sit there and be like, hey, man, what if we give you our second-round pick? Does that make this a little bit more enticing? Now, I'm not just giving them 1 and 2 to get to 14. That's crazy. So this is an idea where the Raiders can get a few extra or an extra draft pick, if you will, and also get number 14. And again, this trade is 100% fair on the trade value chart. So the Raiders, they get pick number 14, a third-round pick 78, and also as a reminder, that means then the Raiders would have picks 78, 79, and 80. That would be pretty awesome. And a fourth-round pick at 119. The Vikings, they get 17 and 48 overall. So again, should the Raiders make this trade, I want you to go ahead and type, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Vang or Kong. If you just want to type V or K, believe me, I will not be upset about it whatsoever. This language is Vietnamese, so if you guys want to see some more languages here on the Raiders report, maybe we can go ahead and do so. I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun, but at the same time, why not be a little bit educational, right? So should the Raiders go ahead and make that move, I want you to type Vang or I want you to type Kong. Now, if you made it this far in the video and you guys are looking for more draft coverage, please go ahead and subscribe to Chat Sports. That's our YouTube channel with over 200, I believe 40,000 subs at this point. We're going to be live for the NFL Draft. It's literally 3 days of non-stop coverage. And if you like our live shows on the Raiders Report, I'm also going to be over there breaking it down as well. And I want Raider Nation to show out and represent. So please go ahead, subscribe to Chat Sports, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. Now, the last trade I'm going to come up with here is the Buffalo Bills. But wait, Mitch, they're pick number 30. You're 100% right. So let's say the Raiders, they get the guy that they want at pick 17. Okay? But what happens if, let's say, if a right tackle or if a safety really falls in round 1, a guy like a Tevin Jenkins, a guy like Trevon Merrick, are probably the two names that really, really stick out to me. The reason why you trade up with Buffalo here is because Buffalo's a good football team, there's no doubt about it. But what happens if a lot of their players that they're looking for, which I think they would be probably looking for like an Azeez Ojulari or another edge rusher, they could probably get some of these edge rushers a little bit later on in the draft. You can't allow Kansas City to be able to get a guy like Tevin Jenkins at 31. You can't allow them to get somebody like a Darsaw to fall down to them. I know Liam Eichenberg's a good name too, but you can't let Kansas City get a great value at right tackle. So here's the trade idea that I cooked up. The Raiders, they get pick number 30. The Bills, they get your second-round pick, your first third-round pick, and then your sixth-round pick. So again, this would be on the predication that the Raiders get pick 17, they have pick 30, and then they have 1 third-round pick, 1 fourth-round pick. So, sure, you're losing some capital, but, I mean, if we could come away with a draft where you have, let's just say a guy like Jeremiah Wilson-Moore and you get Tevin Jenkins, I'd be pretty okay with that. So that's the idea behind this trade. So what do you think? Another one. Should the Raiders make this one? I want you to type, if I get this right, Yibo, or I want you to type Cha. You can either type Y or you can type C. Go down in the comments section and let me know here. This is from, I believe this language is Zulu. So hopefully I pronounced that right. Now, if I didn't pronounce it right, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun here. Trying to break it down here on the Raiders Report. If there's any other languages that you want to see on next week's episode, DM me on IG. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365 here. So those were the 5 trade ideas that I thought of. If you like I want you to go down in the comments. Let me know which one was your favorite, and if there's certain ones that you didn't like, please, I'll be looking.